From visual arts to the art of writing, today marks the start of Black Children's Book Week. It's a global celebration of Black children and their representation in books and other children's media. Veronica Chapman is an author and creator of the website Black Baby Books, a site where people can search for books with Black characters to purchase. And her books, I Know I Can and King Khalid is Proud, are part of her mission to see diverse representation in children's books. Hi, Veronica.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, I Know I Can and King Khalid is Proud.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I love those titles.
Thank you.
So you created Black Children's Book Week. Tell us about the celebration and why you thought it was needed.
Sure. So I write books, so I started off as an author, and so I write books that make children believe in themselves. And because of that, I saw the impact that it had on especially Black children to see themselves represented and to see a Black author. A lot of them are really amazed by the idea that there are Black authors who write children's books with Black characters. And research shows that when Black children see themselves represented positively in children's books and other media, it improves their self-esteem and helps protect them from the impact of racism. So I wanted to think of a proactive, a lot of times we're reacting to things that happen in society. But I said, how can we do something that's joyful, that's proactive, that's fun? We're not like in a collective mourning like we've been in previous years.
Sure.
And I said, because I have a platform called Black Baby Books, I have connections with a lot of authors. And I said, we're already doing something great. Why not do it collaboratively? Why not do it globally? Because, racism is a global issue, and our children are suffering globally from the impacts of it. And so it's been so wonderful. People around the nation
have responded.
Wow, it
wow.
was like, this is the second year, and the first year, and currently there's like an explosion of joy, and that's an awesome thing.
That's exciting. Now, it's more than writing for you, because you've said that creating books with Black protagonists for you is social activism. Explain more about what you mean.
Sure. For those of us who understand society and we understand how racism can impact children, and if we really value love and value creating a safe space for children, we have to acknowledge the elements and the things that we are in our control, right? So honestly, there's been like an increased rates of suicide of Black children. There's been a recent study that said these negative experiences affect their brain development. And I said, because we know that representation and positive representation can be such a positive and protective force, we need to get everybody who believes that children should feel loved and affirmed and seen. We need to give everybody the opportunity to celebrate these children who are having these negative experiences.
I remember reading books when I was a little kid, Jack and Jill, the Mother Goose, and I don't remember seeing anybody that looked like me on the pages of those books.
But that's part of the activism part as well, is that people remember their childhood of not having this representation, and so many people now are making it their business. That's the activist part of publishing these kind of books.
Speaking of business, you have an MBA from Babson, and you created your business. It's called Box Out Enterprises, right?
Yes.
Tell me about Box Out Enterprises.
Sure. So I'm a creative, and I'm a social entrepreneur, and so I always think about, like, how can I design creative solutions for social change? So I think about the things that I experience, the things that I'm authentically able to respond to. And so to box out means to design creative solutions for social change, which is how something like Black Children's Book Week come about.
Let's see if we can get a book recommendation in here. Do you have a book recommendation you want to share with us?
I do.
I see you got stacks and stacks of books, but let's just pick out one.
Let's pick out one. Okay. I'm going to pick out Dream Street.
Okay.
Dream Street is one of my favorite books. They're by a local author and illustrator Ekwa Holmes, and Trisha Elon Walker is the author.
Oh, Ekwa is from Roxbury.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the illustrations are gorgeous, and the The text is gorgeous. Everything about this is about celebrating community, and this is a beautiful book.
Oh my goodness. Okay. You created a Black Children's Book Museum in the
did.
metaverse. What exactly is that? Not the metaverse, but the Black Children's Book Museum.
Well, so launching something like this requires funding, and I thought, how can we find a way to support the sponsors who make this happen, help make this happen. And so the Black Children's Book Museum is where we feature the sponsors of Black Children's Book Week and the donors.
How do people visit the virtual museum?
So they go to blackchildrensbookmuseum.org. And actually the opening for this year, because the exhibits change every year, the opening for this year is on Saturday at 2:00. But if you go to the website, blackchildrensbookmuseum.org, you can get more information. And the awesome thing about this is, part of the activism too, is that we use a percentage of the sponsorship to invest in Black independent authors.
Fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous. And so there are events virtually and all over the world
Exactly.
throughout the week, including today at the Museum of Science, right?
The Museum of Science is on Sunday.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's today. And
That's right.
that's right. And if you go to blackchildrensbookweek.org, you can get the full schedule. There's some events in the UK and Canada, all throughout the United States.
Wow. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
How many books do you think you have represented in that book museum?
140.
Wow.
Yes.
And growing.
And growing.
Okay.
And growing. And I'm collecting, and also one way to celebrate Black Children's Book Week is to visit and shop Black bookstores. So we have Frugal, bookstore in Roxbury. And so I've been doing like a little tour, and everywhere I go, I'm buying books. So I have like a whole stack.
Excellent.
A whole stack of Black Children's books.
Keep it going.
Thank you.
Veronica Chapman, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And you can check out some of the events planned for Black Children's Book Week. Go to our website. There's more information there. And check out Get Lit. It's a literacy program at the Roxbury branch of the Boston Public Library with monthly events. You can find more information, again, on both of these on our website at WCVB.com. The end of Black Children's Book Week doesn't mean the end of opportunities with books. You can check out the literacy program at the Roxbury branch of the Boston Public Library with monthly events. Again, there's more information on our website. I'm saying it twice to make sure you get it.